found my greens and lettuce last a lot longer if I wrap them in paper towels. Hi everyone, I'm Debbie with Book and Bujo. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. Glad to have you here. For July, I'm going to try something new and try and actually vlog throughout the month. So I'm not always good about remembering to turn my camera on to actually set it up so I can film things in my daily life. So we'll see how it goes. I did actually remember to turn my camera on while I was putting my groceries away, so I did get that done. And let's see if I get up to anything interesting in July or if I am just super boring. We'll find out. I did have some fun this past week, so the last week of June. Yesterday we did, so today is Monday, hello, and it's July 1st, so starting out good. But yesterday we did go and have lunch, or brunch actually, with some old friends that moved back to Prescott around the same time that we did, and so it was nice to reconnect with some old friends after we had both moved away and are now back. And we went to The Raven, which is an amazing restaurant here in town, and they have vegan and gluten-free and vegetarian options. They have just regular options. They have a really beautiful upstairs patio that's just open to the beautiful views of downtown Prescott, and it was delicious. They have the most amazing hash brown medley, so it's like a little potato medley, and you have blue potatoes and regular potatoes and sweet potatoes, and it's just so good. I actually got their pancakes, which are topped with granola, and then they give you like a berry jam and a syrup to go with it, and I ate about half of it because you get 3 like monster huge pancakes, and they were delicious, as well as a side of the potato medley, which I ate about a quarter of those. So I have a full breakfast waiting for me this week. And then yesterday evening we had my in-laws over for dinner, so that was really nice as well. Today, as I mentioned, I did my errands that I always do on Monday. So I do my grocery shopping, and I go to the library, I return the books that I've already read, and I pick up any books that are on hold for me, which I have quite the stack behind me here on my chair. So let's give you a quick little peek into those. So starting with the first one that's on my TBR game, and that is Vengeful. And I actually did just start this. I'm actually have it paused, but I'm listening to that as I've been doing my grocery shopping put away time. And so far, it's good. I'm liking it. And then I also picked up The Thousand Eyes by A.K. Larkwood. And this is this is the second book in the Villain series by V.E. Schwab. The first book was amazing. I highly recommend it. And then The Thousand Eyes is the second book in the Serpent Gates duology. I'm pretty sure it's just got the 2 books in it so far. And that is by A.K. Larkwood. And then I think the next book on my TBR game was Unseen Academicals by Terry Pratchett. And I got this one. And then not on my TBR but part of the Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, and that is I Shall Wear Midnight. I believe this is the next book in the Tiffany Aching series, and this one is part of the Wizards, so I don't know if it's just the Wizards or if it's Rincewind. We'll find out when I read it. And then I also picked up off of my TBR, and that is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater, and this is the second book in the Raven Boys series. And then I also have Comfort Me with Apples, and this is by Catherine M. Valenti, and I'm very excited to read this one, and it's super short, so I'm glad I was able to get this one on my TBR. Then other books that are on my TBR that I need to read. This one's on my actual TBR, and this is not from the library. I do own this one, and that is Essentialism by Greg McGowan, and that one is also on my TBR. Oh, and then one of the ones for one of the book clubs, and this is The Game of Tomes book club with Carolyn Marie Reads, and that is, I keep saying IQ, it's 1Q84, and it sounds like this is a different take on the 1984 book by George Orwell, which I read in May, and so I am definitely interested to get into this one and see what's happening with it. It is definitely a chunker. This one is, I love these end papers though. I mean, it is amazing. But they have, yeah, there's some, I love all the black pages in here. It's very cool. So let's see, there is 925 pages in this book. I did not put this on my TBR-opoly game, which was good. I want to just read this slowly, and especially since I just have the physical book, and the margins are nice, but the font is still on the small-ish side. But one thing I think is interesting is every so often you have page numbers that are like almost backwards or inside out. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's kind of fun. And yeah, so there's a lot of pages in here, but I'm very excited to read this one. Apparently it's 3 books in one, so that's kind of cool too. So I'm hoping I can at least get what, well, I really want to try and finish it this month, because next month is Magical Readathon and I don't want this chunker on my TBR. But if I can at least get through the first book or the first 2 sections of the book this month, and then I can finish it off next month with that 3rd book. So that's my hope. And then I also have The Witch's Sin, which is the first book in the Neon Ghost series by Daniel B. Green. And of course I have the Kickstarter edition, which is beautiful. And it has this beautiful shiny bookmark that goes with it. I love it. And if you want to see the unboxing for this one, I will leave that linked up in the cards above and also in the description box below. Okay, and then I need to finish, so I did good with my June TBR, so I did finish everything on my TBR-opoly game, but there are 2 books that I did not finish, but those were book club books. And of course, what book has been on my TBR for the past 2 months now and is now carrying over into July, and that is, I'm on page 279, but that is The Girl in the Moon, the 3rd and final book in the Book of the Ice series by Mark Lawrence, and I will be finishing this. So I'm 71% of the way through. I'm almost done with it. I will finish this in the next couple days, and that one's on my Kindle. I do have a few other books on my Kindle as well for my TBR, like Court of Ravens and Ruin, and I think there's one other one. I'll let you know. I didn't come over here prepared with my TBR and my reading journal, which is way over there. But we'll get there. Okay. The other one is Crossroads of Twilight for the Wheel of Time read along, and this is the 10th book in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan, and I am making some good headway. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and it is a pretty chunky book. It's 700 something pages, and this book actually has some deckled edges, which is kind of interesting. You don't see that as much in hardbacks, but yeah, deckled edges on it, kind of fun. Anyway, that is my library haul and where I am with my June and July TBR so far. The other exciting, so let's hold this up, see if I can actually hold it up without dropping anything. Oof. Yeah, this is my July TBR, as well as a couple of extra books that go on top, plus all of the multiple Kindle books that I have, and a couple that I have just on audio. It's less than last month, and most definitely less than May. I think May I had 21 or 22 books. In June I had about 17-ish books, and then for July I only have like 14. So I'm hoping. Of course, June I added on a couple books that randomly came in from the library that I didn't expect. But there we go. So what else am I getting up to this month? So today, I'm very excited. I'm getting all of the stuff in to start my own sourdough starter. I'm so excited. So I've always wanted to make my own sourdough, And my dad was an amazing baker. He owned a bakery when I was growing up, and people would actually riot if he was out of cinnamon rolls. Like, people were mad. Like, what do you mean you don't have any more cinnamon rolls? But I need cinnamon rolls. They were so good. I want to kind of follow in his footsteps a bit and work on my baking a little bit. I love baking, but I was sick for a while and had a lot of just immune issue problems and food allergies and sensitivities and like all of that stuff. And I am healing and getting better, and there's more things I can eat now, which is amazing. So I want to start baking again, and today's the day. So I'm getting all of the stuff in the mail today, and I picked some stuff up at the grocery store as well to start my own sourdough starter. So I'm super excited about that. I will try and remember to film that when everything comes in, and I will keep you updated on my progress for that. I'm also going to be starting my sauerkraut again. I used to make my own sauerkraut and kombucha and kefir and kefir, whichever way you want to say it. I used to make all of that myself, and it's been a while. I used to do coconut water kefir because I have dairy issues. No dairy for me. And it was so much fun. I loved it. But again, just life got in the way, and yeah, didn't keep up with it. But yeah, I wanted to jump on the bandwagon way back in like 2020 when everybody else was doing their sourdough starters, but I actually still had to go into the office every day during that time, so I didn't have any spare time to work on anything else. So I still had my commute in, which was so much better with no traffic, and commute back and working in the office 8 to 10 hours a day. So yeah, I am going to be starting my sourdough this year. Very excited. So my favorite thing about summer is monsoon season here in Arizona. We get the most amazing thunderstorms, and I just love them. Now, don't necessarily like all the lightning, which can start fires and all of that, so not amazing with that. And yesterday we did celebrate the anniversary of our hotshots that gave their lives to save all of ours. And if you know any hotshots or firefighters, send up a little prayer for them today, because they are amazing, and they pretty much give their lives to try and save our homes and forests and everything else. So just a little heartfelt moment for them. We had an early monsoon. Usually it used to always start right around the 4th of July, and then it started moving further and further until it was like the end of July, and it usually goes through September. But instead of 3 months, we started only having 2 months, and then we'd have like maybe a month of it, and yeah, it's kind of sad. So last year we didn't have any monsoon storms at all. We had some rainstorms, but they were not our typical like massive downpour for like half an hour or 20 minutes and then goes away. We didn't really have any of that last year. But this year, on last Monday, we had 1.5 inches of rain at my house. That was amazing. And then on Tuesday, we had another 1/4 inch come down, which was great because the land really needs the water. And then we got some more rainstorm yesterday, so that was awesome. And I love the thunder that comes with it. It's just a beautiful thing. So it's nice to have some extra moisture, even though that comes with humidity, which I don't like, but I'll take it if we're gonna get some rain. All right, now I need to go make some lunch and hopefully do a little bit more reading on The Girl and the Moon and get this book finished, hopefully today or tomorrow, probably Wednesday, but hopefully today. And then I also need to do some planning for everything else I'm going to be doing this week, the things that I have due, things I need to get to, and things I just want to do in general. At least I got the house fully cleaned last week, so that's good. So I'm caught up on my cleaning. So this week is all about planning and vlogging and reading and sourdough. Wednesday. Yesterday I didn't get a lot of filming done, but I did get some reading done, made some progress on a couple of books. I'm about 80% of the way through The Girl on the Moon, and should be able to finish that today or tomorrow. We'll see. I'm very tired today, so we'll see how reading goes. I may end up falling asleep as I read. I did get my sourdough started, and my sourdough starter started, and I got that fed yesterday and again today. I need to do that again tonight. I did get quite a bit of cleaning done. I got some work stuff done and some laundry and other things around the house, and so now I'm gonna have a little chocolatey treat. I've got my water, and I'm gonna try and make some progress on The Girl and the Moon. I got through a couple more chapters and most of my water, so that's good. Still have about 12% left, but getting close. Things are happening. It's very exciting. So The Girl on the Moon, if you haven't read any of these before, you can read each trilogy separately or you can read them together. The Book of the Ice series, which is the one I'm reading right now, is kind of a continuation of the Book of the Ancestor series by Mark Lawrence, and we follow Yaz, who is one of the Ichtha clans who live on the ice, and she, in this final book, it kind of, the two trilogies kind of intersect a little bit. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything, but it's kind of fun to see how things kind of connect. You don't necessarily need to read the first trilogy to read the second one, but I think you get more out of it if you do read them both. But yes, definitely enjoying it. And I did get through another couple chapters in Vengeful today. I didn't read any of it yesterday, but I did get through some of it today, and then I am about 55% of the way through Crossroads of Twilight, the 10th book in the Wheel of Time series, so getting close. And then I have all of these still to get through, all of these wonderful books for my July TBR, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, of course this one's super short, but then we have this one that's super long, so wish me luck. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I've got my only red, white, and blue shirt that I own on today for the 4th of July. I also got to vacuum the stairs, so that was a lot of fun. What else have I done today? Not much. Did my workout this morning. Got some weights in, trying to build up my muscles again. I got some product reviews done that have been on my list to do for quite some time, and I keep putting it off, so I got those done today. And I also did some reading. So I finished Crossroads of Twilight by Robert Jordan, the 10th book in the Wheel of Time series, and I believe this is the last book in the slog. I did feel that this one was a little longer than it needed to be. I definitely enjoyed it, and the ending So the ending is very intriguing. I am definitely looking forward to the next book in the series. So out of all of the slog books, I guess you could say this one was probably the slowest for me. It read easily, like I didn't have any problem reading through it, but it did feel a little long, like we didn't need to know every detail of that particular day. I mean, you could have left some of that stuff out and it would have been probably a little better for it. But it's fine. I understand why some of that is in there, and sometimes it's nice to get a little more detail than usual, but it probably could have been a little bit shorter. But it was really good. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the series. Most definitely I can see why it is a favorite of most people. And then I am 94% of the way through The Girl and the Moon, which is the third book in the Book of the Ice series by Mark Lawrence. So page 376 and has 416 pages, so I should be able to finish this one today. If not, then tomorrow morning, depending on if we have family come over or not. It's supposed to be quite warm the next few days, so for Arizona, hitting 100 isn't a big deal, but in Prescott, in northern Arizona, 100 is pretty warm, especially since most homes here only have swamp coolers and not air conditioning units. So it can get a little warm during the monsoon season, especially when it's already really humid. The swamp coolers just don't really do anything. It works great during the dry seasons, but when it's wet. Yeah, so we may have some family that don't have air conditioner come over to our house because our house does have some. So we'll see if anyone takes us up on the offer of staying cool and coming over here and hanging out for a bit. If that happens, then I probably won't get any reading done, but if it doesn't, then I should be able to finish my book. And I'm also continuing Vengeful, so this I'm mainly reading in the car because I can download it to my phone without having to use Wi-Fi or anything, and so that works really nicely when I'm running errands and things like that. So I've mainly been reading this one in the car, but I am pretty good, about 35% of the way through. And now that I've finished Crossroads of Twilight, which was one of my audiobooks, I should be able to start making some more progress on this one. But I may leave this one as kind of that car read because I did just start 1Q84, and this one is huge. This one's a 900 plus page book, and I have barely made a dent, but I have finished the first chapters. Now I'm on to the second chapter. So my plan for right now is to kind of read 1 to 2 chapters, or to listen to 1 to 2 chapters of this one a day, and then in any extra time I have, I will put on Vengeful until I finish this one, because this one is for July and August, so I don't necessarily have to finish this one this month. But this is 3 books in one. So book 1 is April through June, and then book 2 is July through September, and then book 3 would then be October through December. So it's kind of interesting how they have that broken up. It's pretty much everything takes place in this one year, and so far I'm intrigued. Not necessarily a whole lot happened in the first chapter. We're following a mommy, and apparently that means green pea, and so she gets a lot of weird looks when she tells people her name is Amami. And no, it's not edamame. I'm not a soybean. I am a green pea. And so that took up a page and a half or so, but it was actually very entertaining. And she is basically in a taxi on her way to this important meeting, and realizes that she's going to be late because there's a traffic jam and it's been like half an hour and they haven't moved at all. So she's getting a little nervous, but they have this nice conversation that takes place over a couple of pages about how wonderful the sound system is in this car and how comfortable it is. It's like so nice. What is this car, and what are we listening to? This music sounds so beautiful, and it's actually been entertaining for something, if you think about it, like that's so mundane. Like, why are we taking 2 pages to talk about this vehicle that's comfortable, that has this great sound system and has this amazing music playing. But it works so far. It's a good introduction. So yeah, they're in this traffic jam. She's got to get to work, and the taxi driver's like, hey, right over there, if you cut through, there's like a service ladder and you can go down and then get to the street level, and then you can get to where you need to go in a pretty short time. You have 45 minutes. You should be able to make it on foot. And so out of the car she goes, and off she goes to wander the streets and get to her meeting. And that's where we ended with chapter 1. So I am very intrigued and excited to continue this one. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, my priority today is getting this finished. And now that I have my product reviews filmed, I need to now edit those and get those posted. So that's what I'm going to be doing with the rest of my day. So editing, reading, and hopefully writing a couple more book reviews, because I have not done that in a couple days, and I need to get on top of those because I was doing really well. I was writing 3 a day for a while and then slacked off. So yeah, I need to get back into that. Oh, I did get my sourdough fed. I do need to feed my sourdough. My husband has decided to call him Harry. So Harry, my sourdough starter, will be getting fed again this evening. And if I have anything else to update you on, I will do that later today. If not, then I will see you tomorrow. Hi everyone, it's Friday. So I'm going to probably wrap up this vlog here because Saturday is pretty much just cleaning and chores and doing laundry, and that's not fun. So, I'm just going to wrap it up here. We've had a pretty fun week. So today, my husband had yesterday and today off. So we had just some fun with family. We hung out with family a little bit yesterday. And even though it's been 100 degrees the last couple of days, everyone in Prescott was outside doing stuff down at the square. We always have a lot of kind of like almost farmers market and arts and crafts shows downtown, and they kind of block off one of the streets, and then you can just walk around the whole area, and it's so much fun. I love looking at all the little booths that they have set up. There are such creative people in this town. I love it. We've been walking by and seeing this little restaurant, and it's just weird. When you see the sign, all you really see is hot dogs and cheesecake. And my first thought is like, hot dogs and cheesecake, does that even go together? Is that like a thing? Like, that just seems weird. Why would you have a restaurant that serves hot dogs and cheesecake? But looking closer, it's actually called Russo's Deli. And they have a whole bunch of stuff. They have soups and salads and sandwiches and hot dogs. And then they have cheesecake, and they also have cinnamon rolls with different icings and fillings and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. We went in there. We actually got to meet the owner and his brother. So it's a family-owned restaurant, and they are going to be branching out. So it's mainly a lunch place. And then for dinners on the weekends, they are going to be starting a little Italian restaurant, Vincenzo's. And we are definitely looking forward to trying out some of their fare of the evening Italian type. Sounds really good. So I got their pastrami sandwich. So it's basically a wrap, and then they grill it like a panini. And oh my gosh, was it good. Like I had to start eating it before I was like, oh, I gotta take a picture of this to show you guys. And so I'd already started eating it, but the balance of everything was so good. There was just the smallest amount of mayonnaise, which is good because I don't like mayonnaise, but I got it as is. So it had just the right balance of mayonnaise, the tang of the mustard, the sauerkraut. They had some pepperoncinis in there, and the big stack of pastrami, and it just, oh, it was so good. Had so much flavor, and it just blended so well together. Such a balanced sandwich. And my husband got the Prescott dog, which is pretty similar to the Chicago style dog, and we both thoroughly enjoyed our meal. We did get, so as soon as we get in, they're like, hey, you want a sample of cheesecake? And they're walking around with tiny little spoons with a little bite of cheesecake on them. And so we got to try the Black Forest cheesecake. Not my favorite flavor. I do like Black Forest cake, but it's not my favorite in the cheesecake. But we did order a slice to share of the salted caramel cheesecake. That was so good. The texture of the cheesecake is so smooth and just melts on your tongue, and the flavor was so good. Highly recommend it. If you're ever in the Prescott area, Russo's Deli. Highly recommend. And I love that it's a family-owned business, and we actually got to meet the owner. We got to see the both owners, and we got to talk to one of them who was actually our waiter. So that was pretty awesome. And then from there we went down to Superstition Meadery, which is one of my favorite places in Prescott. And I just love mead. If you don't know what mead is, it's basically a type of wine, but instead of using grapes, they use honey. And it is so good. And not all of them are sweet. They do have what they call BDSMs, and those are usually the real dark, like if you like a dark beer or a real bold wine, that's usually kind of what you would go for with meads, is the BDSMs. And they're just more of a dark mead and have a lot more flavor, usually a higher alcohol content as well, but those are usually my favorites. Sometimes they're a little sweeter, but usually not so much, and they didn't have any. So that was sad. We did get a couple of different ones, which were kind of fun. There was a Bombaleo Bop, which was a boysenberry, and that one was pretty good. It wasn't as bold of a berry flavor as I was expecting, but that was good because sometimes it's in your face and it's a little too much. But my favorite was the Spruce Nymph. So this one actually is fermented with spruce tree needles in it, and it was so good. I've been waiting for like 2 weeks to try this one, and it was definitely worth the wait. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And then we got one that was like Tim's Tiki something tummy tickler or something like that. It was basically Mai Tai flavors, but also had mint in it, and that one was really good. Oh my gosh, just the aroma of that one was so good. And then you had this like mint finish, and it was delicious. So then after that, we went home, we got our dog, and we took him to the pet store to get some treats and just to walk him around, because he doesn't get a lot of interaction with other people and other dogs. So we try and get him out a little bit to just socialize a bit. And so we did that, and then we kind of walked down on the outskirts of downtown, so like just a couple blocks from downtown, because downtown was crazy. It would have been way overstimulation for him. So we went a couple blocks away. We found a couple of the restaurants that sound really interesting. We have a little Mayan Mexican restaurant called Frank's Restaurant. That looks interesting, that I kind of want to try. And of course, Nick's Feed Your Face, which is subs. And then the Park Place Deli, which is delicious. It's another deli, but it's also a liquor store. They had a couple, there's a Thai place called Typhoon, which is kind of fun. And then I think there's a smoothie place down there. So it's a little section of town that we don't go to too often. So it was kind of fun to find some new restaurants over there to try. And then from there, we came back home, took a nap, and here I am. So on to some reading. So I did finish The Girl on the Moon yesterday. So today I started Of Fury and Fangs by Kyoko M. This is the fourth book in the Of Cinder and Bone series, and I am on page 57. I am enjoying the beginning of this already. So I love the characters. The three main characters are so great, and I love their interactions with each other. I'm only 14% of the way through the book, but it's on par with how good the rest of the books in the series are. And then for Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, the second book in the Villains series, I am 82% of the way through the book, so I've got about this much left to go. So it's about two-ish hours on the audiobook, 2.5 hours, something like that. So very excited. I may or may not be able to finish this one tonight. It depends on what we're doing, if we're going to watch a movie or not. If we're not, then I may be able to finish it. If not, then I will finish it tomorrow. Oh, speaking of movies, we did watch a movie last night, and I would say it's the newest Flash, but this one said it was 2022, and then we saw on Netflix, and then on Prime we saw one that said 2023. So I don't know if it was the same movie or if it's a different one. I don't know, but this one was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was the one with all the Batmans. It was really good. I totally enjoyed it. I really like the Flash, and I really like the actor that they got for the Justice League movies. Very fun, and there's lots of really cool cameos. Okay, tonight I do plan, so I try and read half an hour before I go to bed, so if I am able to do that, I want to try and start Neon Ghosts. So this is Witch's Sin which is the first book in the Neon Ghost series. And so I do want to try and start this one tonight. If not, I will start it tomorrow. So yesterday I did start 1Q84 and I got through the first 2 chapters. So we're following 2 main characters so far. The first main character is Mommy, and she is a very interesting character. By the time we get one chapter from her perspective, and then the next chapter, so far the odd chapters are from her perspective, and then the even chapters are from Tango's perspective, which is this gentleman here. So we have the 2, which is kind of cool. I didn't realize that when I was first looking at it. So we have their 2 perspectives, and so far his have been the even chapters. So I haven't gotten too far. I'm actually on chapter 6 right now, so I'm this far through the book and have this much left. But her character is interesting. By the time we got to like the 3rd and 5th chapter, I'm like, who is this girl and what is happening? Like the first chapter was like all this randomness of like a full chapter of them talking about this taxi cab she's in, and this, what a wonderful sound system, and this music is great, and just kind of like real mundane things. And then in chapter 3 you're just like, who are you? What is happening? So far very interesting. And then from Tango's perspective, he is a math teacher, and he also teaches something with the justice system, and he also wants to be a writer. He kind of works with a publishing company, and he's helping with this contest to find like the next great writer kind of thing. People can submit their short stories and things like that, and then they choose a winner from them. And his editor is like, oh yeah, well, we really like this story, but it's kind of meh, we really need some work on it. We think you'd be great at kind of revising it, editing it, rewriting it pretty much, but in the same tone of what that was. And so there's some dilemma. So a little bit of yellow face going on here. If you've read R.F. Kuang's book, Yellow Face, a little bit of that feeling to this character right now. He is not super happy about this. It's the editor's idea, and he's like, I don't know, this seems wrong. Like, I don't know if this is morally correct to do this. And he meets with the author, who's a 17-year-old girl in high school, and she's very deadpan, doesn't really say much. When she does say things, even if she's asking a question, it doesn't sound like she's asking a question. A little weird. And she's like, sure, go ahead, whatever. But you need to meet someone first. And she says she didn't even submit the story. And I don't know, there's some weirdness going on in here. I want to find out a little bit more. So I've been really intrigued. I actually listened to a lot more of this than I was planning. I was kind of planning to listen to basically one of each of their chapters each day until I finished the book. But the narrator, although he reads really slow for me, I have it at 2 times speed, and that's the max that I can listen to in this app. And I really would like to go up to at least 2.25. He reads pretty slow, but his voice is very, I wouldn't say necessarily relaxing, like it's not going to put you to sleep, but it's very calming and intriguing at the same time. So I think part of my intrigue into the story, besides the story itself, which so far is really interesting, is the way he's reading it makes me even more interested. Like, it keeps me focused on it, and I just like busted through like 4 chapters today without even thinking about it. So, and each chapter is at his normal speed is about an hour long. So when I listen to it, I'm listening at 2 times speed, so it's definitely a lot faster than that. I should be able to finish book 1 without any problem this month. And that's what I'm reading so far, and that's what I've been getting up to. What are you reading this week, and how was your 4th of July? I hope you had a lot of fun. So what do I have coming up? I need to do my readathon wrap-ups for May, which is the Gooberathon and May the Force Read With You. So I did complete both of those, so I need to do my wrap-up for you, as well as my wrap-up for my June readathons, which was Breath of the Wild-a-thon, which I did pass, as well as Library of Dragons, Chapter 2, which I also did complete. So I'm very excited to go through those. And then, of course, I need to do my wrap-ups for May and June. and that should be coming fairly soon as well. So those are some of the things to look forward to, and hopefully another vlog or two in July. And if you made it this far in the video, leave some kind of firework emoji in the comments to let me know that you're here in honor of 4th of July. And until next time, keep reading. Bye!